Seems like the only way is up for video game prices, with Sony announcing a multitude of price hikes increases across hardware in regions and including its PlayStation Plus subscription service. And also, Nintendo has it lost its innovation, according to a Sony ex-president CEO Shuhei Yoshida has his thoughts on the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal. All that and more in this edition of Foxy Games UK. So, forgive me for my slightly dull tone. I'm coming down with a seasonal cold. It's just the beginning, so I'm getting this video done so I don't have any issues going forward. But yeah, if you like this sort of thing, like, subscribe, hit notification and all that good stuff. Our first news story comes courtesy of PlayStation.blog. All links are available in the video's description. PS5 prices are set to rise in Europe, Australia and New Zealand, much to the dismay of PlayStation fans everywhere. And also the disc drive for PS5, the price will be also reduced in these regions, so some, a ray of sunshine in what is a rather damp and dull setting. So with a backdrop of a challenging economic environment, Sony say that the high inflation and fluctuating exchange rates, Sony Interactive Entertainment has made the tough decision to raise the recommended retail price, that's the RRP, of the PlayStation console in select markets in Europe, Middle East and Africa, Australia and New Zealand. So yeah, the updated PS5 recommended retail prices are effective starting April 14, so it's already gone up. In Europe, the PS5 Digital Edition is now €499.99. There's no price changes for the standard PS5 with the Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive. So a lot of these price hikes seem to be revolving around a digital edition. In the UK, the PS5 Digital Edition is £429.99, Great British pounds. No price increase for the standard PS5, again with the disc drive. And Australia, the standard PS5 with Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive, Australian dollar is $829.95, with PS5 Digital Edition, Australian dollar $749.95. Quite a hike there. Now, New Zealand standard PS5 with the Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive, New Zealand dollar $949.95, with the PS5 Digital Edition a whopping $859.95. We're talking nearly 1,000 New Zealand dollars for the standard PS5. PS5 Pro, that remains unchanged. I guess Sony factored in that price. It probably had a forward-thinking view when pricing PS5 Pro, which is why it is not increasing that price. Additionally, the disc driver, I stated at the beginning of the news story, will be getting a RRP decrease effective starting April 14. In Europe, it's gone down to €80, and in the UK, it's around 70 Great British pounds, Australia 125, and New Zealand dollar 140. There you have it. That's quite a bit of a bummer though, isn't it? I mean, the disc drive has been price hiked anyway with scalpers when there was a shortage. The fact that they're reducing the price on the disc drive means that there's probably widespread availability. Yeah, unfortunate, but that's not where the sad, gloomy news ends. Courtesy of PlayStationLifestyle.net, PlayStation Plus price increases hitting more regions, and players are upset, and rightly so. Sony has announced a PlayStation Plus price increase in more countries, resulting in a severe backlash. The hike applies to all three tiers: Essential, Extra and Deluxe in Australia, South Korea, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand and Indonesia. The EU and US are marked safe from PlayStation Plus price increasing for now. Now, Sony announced a PlayStation Plus price hike in 15 Latin American countries. Although Japan, European countries and North America seem safe for now, the news has everyone bracing themselves. Players were really delivered the update and particularly upset because it affected countries that get the inferior version of the premium tier with no access to PlayStation 3 beloved PlayStation 3 classics or game streaming. And I'll also be interested to see if this has any positive impact on Xbox hardware sales, because we know Xbox is having trouble with its brand at the moment regarding hardware and sales. Does this make Xbox, particularly the Xbox Series S, the most value-driven platform in the market right now? And does this entice you to perhaps gravitate towards that platform because of the attractive, cheaper price of entry, regardless of whether you care to own your games or not via Game Pass? Does the whole thing look a lot more attractive over on Xbox right now? Or do you believe in the quality that you're getting now from Sony or Nintendo is enough to justify the price increases? Let me know in the comments, because it's quite a, I'm going to keep an eye on Xbox sales going forward, because I do think this will have some kind of impact. Whether it's a large one or not, I'm not that convinced yet, but the numbers will tell a different story. So yeah, look out for an update on this channel regarding the current state of hardware sales given the price increases, and it really does depend on what move Xbox makes next. If it maintains the current pricing structure, then it could be a big deal for Xbox with hardware sales going forward. But if it follows suit and increases prices, then that kind of nullifies a lot of the benefits that you'd get from buying into the ecosystem. But yeah, just a thought. Given the economy and everything else, it's not the best news, is it? But it is expected. And we can look at these corporations and blame them for being greedy, or we can look at governments around the world and how they're damaging the economy and causing inflation to rise, causing prices to raise. I'm not saying any names. I think we all know who are the culprits. But yeah, of course, corporations are in it to make money. They are a money-wielding machine. But how a corporation runs and the prices it can set, whether the profit margins are humongous or not, is severely affected by inflation. There's no getting around that. Sound off in the comments what you think about these price increases. Who's next? We don't know what Nintendo's doing at the moment, and we also don't know what Xbox is going to do. I assume everybody's going to increase prices, because outside of video gaming, prices are going up tenfold. On to our final news story of the video, Eurogamer.net. Is Nintendo losing its identity? Former PlayStation executive Shuhei Yoshida has shared damning Switch 2 verdict. And he says he was personally a little bit disappointed. He's getting a bit of backlash about this on social media, saying what do they expect Nintendo to do and everything else. But allow the man to have his opinion. Let's hear what he has to say. Make up your own minds. Nintendo positioning Switch 2 as simply a bigger and better follow-up to Switch 1 is seemingly damaging the company's brand identity. That's according to former PlayStation executive Shuhei Yoshida speaking on the Easy Allies podcast, who shared his thoughts on Switch 2 in general and Nintendo's recent hardware reveal. Now, Yoshida's point is that Nintendo has always done different when compared to its competitors and designed its consoles around fun concepts, motion controls or hybrid, handheld / TV gameplay, rather than simply focusing on more technical oomph or power advantages. With Switch 2, however, Yoshida says Nintendo has focused more than ever on making a straightforward upgrade to its best-selling current console, with the central premise of being both a handheld device and a home console unchanged, just offering more power. Here's a quote. "I have to be polite. I want to be polite," Yoshida begins, noting that he had taken part in a livestream reacting to the Switch 2 reveal and had initially been careful with his words, as he's trained to do, having worked at Sony. He goes on to say, "Something I didn't say there, to me it was a bit of a mixed message from Nintendo in a sense. I think Nintendo is losing their identity, in my opinion. For me, they've always been about creating some new experience, like designing hardware and games together to create some new experiences. But Switch 2, well, as we all anticipated, is a better Switch, right? It's got a larger screen, more powerful processor, higher resolution, 4K 120fps. They even had their hardware person starting the stream as other platforms do. And because it's a better Switch, the core premise of the whole Switch is we made things better, and that's something other companies have been doing all the time. So Yoshida reacted coolly to the third-party games shown running on Switch 2, also noting that while many were popular, such as Cyberpunk 2077 or Elden Ring, there were also pre-existing games from the past console generation. He went on to say, Yoshida sounded a bit like a hater here, isn't he? I don't know. Of course, it's a more powerful Switch, so it's great if your gaming was only on Nintendo hardware. It's the first time for you to play amazing games like Elden Ring, but for us, like the core gamers who own multiple hardware and play games on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, the games they showed off, especially from third parties, in theory it's amazing to have all these all-stars of industry games on Nintendo hardware. However, what they showed were like, oh, okay, I understand where he's going now. As a multi-console gamer, that's not exciting because you're still getting a portable / hybrid docked version of a game that's going to perform better on a PS5 or Xbox Series X or PC. Yeah, I get it. So Yoshida went on to acknowledge that the games Nintendo showed off that use the Switch 2's camera peripheral and mouse controls, including Nintendo's wheelchair basketball game Drag X Drive. Well, that's very Nintendo, and I was very excited, but suggested that the focus on just being a better Switch was very much Nintendo's main focus. He says, I personally am a bit disappointed because they didn't disappoint everyone, Yoshida said, but everyone wanted that better Switch in Switch 2. So yeah, what do you think? Is he hating? Has he got a point? From a third-party standpoint, I can kind of see where Yoshida's coming from, but I'm sure a lot of people on Switch are really buying the handheld primarily for those gold nugget, evergreen Nintendo first-party titles, right? I mean, the third-party titles getting the big boys that allow its audience to play those adult-orientated games or third-party games that have eluded the platform for so many years. Well, that's a wonderful thing. But comparatively speaking, you're going to get a better experience on another platform. Let's say a home dedicated console. So do you agree with the sentiment of Shuya Yoshida, ex-PlayStation, Sony alumni? He's had a lot to say recently, hasn't he? And what do you think about the price hike and everything else? Let me know in the comments. My nose is starting to block. I gotta get out of here. But if you like this video, like, subscribe, hit notification, and always remember, play games, not corporations.